The twisted metal groaned around me. The acrid smell of gasoline and blood filled the air. I was trapped, bleeding, in the wreckage of the car crash. Yet somehow, Evelyn Meng forced me out of the arriving ambulance. Her childhood friend, Leo Ho, needed it more, she insisted. He had a scrape on his arm. My pleas, choked out through pain and shock, were met with a dismissive eye roll. You won't die, she snapped, before slamming the ambulance door shut, leaving me on the roadside as sirens wailed into the distance. Later, in the sterile confines of the hospital, diagnosed with a fractured tibia requiring surgery and pins, I tried calling Evelyn. Dozens of times. Each call was abruptly rejected, sent straight to voicemail. Then, through the haze of pain medication, I saw her. Not rushing to my bedside, but hovering solicitously over Leo in the waiting area, dabbing antiseptic onto his minor abrasion with exaggerated care. Oh, Leo, I overheard her cooing. A break needs 100 days to heal properly. Don't you dare move that arm. Don't worry, I'll move into your place for a while. I'll take perfect care of you. Disappointment, cold and sharp, pierced through my physical agony. After my surgery, discharged but still reeling, I didn't go home. I went straight to my research institute, handed in my resignation, and booked a one-way ticket. For 2 weeks, I lost myself in the stark, beautiful landscapes of Northern Europe, seeking solace in anonymity. Then my phone, silent for so long, exploded with frantic calls from a number I knew too well. Evelyn. Arthur. Arthur Lynn, where the hell are you? Why haven't you called? Why aren't you bothering me anymore? Returning from the self-imposed exile, I stepped back into the apartment we shared. Evelyn sat rigidly on the sofa, her face set in a familiar, cold mask. Yet, there was a rosy bloom on her cheeks, a well-cared-for luminescence that spoke of recent comfort and ease. So, she began, her voice dripping sarcasm. Everyone's been saying you ran away from home. Is it true? Look at you, limping around like that. Who else would possibly want you except me? Her eyes flickered towards my suitcase by the door, and she answered her own question with a haughty lift of her eyebrow. I offered no reply, just dragged my luggage towards the bedroom. What was the point? If Leo hadn't been showing off, driving like a maniac, none of this would have happened. My leg wouldn't be held together with metal pins. But when it came to Leo, Evelyn operated in a reality devoid of facts. Arguing was futile. Humph, she scoffed, following me to the bedroom door. If you actually had the guts to stay away for good, I might have respected you more. A small, cruel smile played on her lips. Leo's injury hasn't fully healed yet. He still needs me for the next few days. You'll have to handle all the wedding arrangements yourself. Make sure everything is perfect. Always Leo. Her world revolved around him. The wedding photos, I said, pausing my unpacking. Are we still taking them? Oh, right. Almost forgot. She slapped her forehead lightly, then frowned accusingly at me. It's your fault, you know. Running off like that, not reminding me. Buzz. Buzz. Her phone vibrated, cutting her off. She glanced at the caller ID, her expression softening instantly. Leo? What's wrong? His voice, laced with urgency, crackled through the speakerphone she hadn't bothered to turn off. Evelyn, my arm, it really hurts again. Can you come with me to the hospital? Just for a checkup? Of course. Right away. Leo, don't worry, I'm on my way. Her voice was thick with concern. She hung up and rushed towards the door without another word to me, only calling back over her shoulder as she left. Make sure you clean up the house. I remembered when we first fell in love. Evelyn, clinging to my arm, eyes shining, talking about how marriage was once in a lifetime, how we absolutely had to have the most beautiful wedding photos imaginable. I remembered, after Leo returned to the country, how my repeated suggestions to finally book the photo session were met with indifference. It's just a formality, Arthur. Doesn't matter if we do it or not. And now, not even a pretense of caring. Perhaps love, like my fractured bone, had simply snapped. I called the hotel and canceled the reception booking. Then, alone, I limped into the high-end bridal photography studio we'd chosen months ago. We won't be taking the photos, I told the clerk, sliding our deposit receipt across the counter. I'd like to cancel the suit and dress hire as well, please. The clerk blinked, surprised. Are you sure, sir? The waiting list for rescheduling is quite long. She clearly remembered my previous calls, the ones filled with eager anticipation, constantly checking on progress. This sudden reversal must have seemed bizarre. I'm sure. I nodded, my voice firm. I've made up my mind. She processed the refund without further comment. Leaving the studio, I walked towards the nearby cinema. There was a film playing, one Evelyn and I had both initially been excited about. Later, when I'd suggested going, she'd suddenly changed her mind, claiming she wasn't interested anymore. I bought a single ticket. Settling into my seat, just moments before the lights dimmed, I saw them. 2 rows ahead. Evelyn, arm linked intimately through Leo's, laughing softly as they took their seats. They never noticed me. Throughout the movie, they whispered, shared popcorn, completely absorbed in each other. So, it wasn't the film she disliked. It was the company. My company. The movie ended. It was surprisingly moving. I found my eyes suspiciously damp as I slowly made my way out, the last one hobbling up the aisle. Outside, under the bright marquee lights, I saw Leo present Evelyn with a large bouquet of vibrant red roses. She accepted them with a radiant smile before they disappeared into the trendy Japanese restaurant next door. Red roses. She used to claim she hated them. Too cliché, too garish, she'd said. Apparently, preferences could change, depending on the person, just like mine had. I always got a stomach ache after eating sushi, but Evelyn loved it, so I'd endured countless meals just to be with her. The old Arthur would have stormed into that restaurant, confronted them, created a scene, leading inevitably to another explosive argument with Evelyn later. But now, the energy for conflict, the desire to fight for her, had evaporated. I found a quiet noodle shop nearby, ate a solitary meal, and scrolled through the photos from my trip. I selected a few, stark landscapes, empty horizons, and posted them to my social media. Caption: wandering alone can be quite peaceful. Almost immediately, a notification popped up. Leo Ho had liked the post. His comment followed. Evelyn didn't go with you? Traveling alone must be so boring. Minutes later, his own feed updated. A 9-photo grid. The center picture was a smiling selfie of him and Evelyn, presumably from the hospital visit. The surrounding photos documented their day, the cinema, the roses, the Japanese food. His caption: feels so good to be taken care of. Hope to have you by my side for the rest of my life. Comments flooded in, showering them with blessings and congratulations. Unlike before, no rage surged through me. I didn't feel the urge to call Evelyn, to demand an explanation. I simply liked his post, a numb, automatic gesture, then hailed a taxi to the research institute where I used to work. Halfway there, my phone rang. Evelyn. I frowned, assuming she was calling to chew me out for liking Leo's post. I almost ignored it. But she kept calling, relentlessly, until the persistent buzzing and the driver's curious glances forced me to answer. Well, Arthur Lynn. Her voice crackled with anger. Limping around, but still managed to sneak off to Northern Europe behind my back. What happened to your promises? We were supposed to go there together for our honeymoon. You said you didn't want to go, I replied calmly. The Northern Europe honeymoon was another casualty of Leo's return. An early dream of ours, born from shared fascination, later dismissed by her. Why bother going all that way, she'd said dismissively months ago, when we could just have a picnic with Leo? So, I went alone, fulfilled my own dream. And now she was angry? The hypocrisy was staggering. When did I ever say that? She snapped, resorting to her usual tactic of denial. Then came the accusations. Were you with another woman? Is that why you kept it secret? Didn't contact me for over 2 weeks. Her voice dripped suspicion. Aren't you afraid some scheming woman would take advantage of you? Steal your money? Maybe even sell you off somewhere. Denial. Accusation. Her standard playbook. I had tolerated it for so long, offered endless patience. But watching her gravitate back towards Leo, watching her prioritize him again and again, had eroded my spirit, leaving me exhausted, sleepless, hollowed out. You should get back to Leo, Evelyn, I said wearily. I'm tired. I hung up before she could reply, unwilling to be drawn into another pointless argument. A few more texts from her pinged, demanding explanations. I ignored them. The truth was, I'd already resigned before leaving for Europe, citing my leg injury as the reason. My supervisor had tried to persuade me to stay, but my mind was made up. I couldn't remain in a city saturated with such painful memories. My colleagues, hearing I was leaving for good, insisted on a farewell gathering that evening, karaoke and drinks. Chloe Ching, the bright junior researcher I'd been mentoring, was particularly insistent. You have to sing for us, Arthur. It might be our last chance to hear you. Touched by their warmth, I agreed. I spent the afternoon handing over my pending projects, sharing final notes. Evelyn called again, and again. Sighing, I answered. Yes, Evelyn. Where are you? She demanded. I've booked a table for dinner tonight. We need to talk. Properly. It was the first time she had initiated a serious conversation. Usually, it was me pleading, her dismissing. 4:30, I said, giving a time before the karaoke gathering. Maybe a final conversation was necessary. A clean break. At 4:30 sharp, I waited outside the institute gates. Evelyn pulled up, right on time. But Leo was in the passenger seat beside her. Get in, she ordered curtly. Seeing Leo, My inclination was to turn and walk away. But a sense of finality, a need for closure, made me hesitate. Perhaps one last talk, however unpleasant, was required. I opened the back door and got in. We hadn't driven 2 blocks before Leo suddenly doubled over, groaning dramatically. Ow, my stomach. Evelyn, I think that sushi gave me food poisoning. It hurts so bad. He clutched his abdomen. Take me to the hospital. Quick. I think I'm dying. Predictably, Evelyn slammed on the brakes, her face etched with panic. She turned to me, her voice sharp with command. Arthur, get out. We don't have time for dinner now. I have to take Leo to the hospital. Just like at the accident scene. Just like with the ambulance. No hesitation. No consideration for me. Utterly decisive in her priorities. This time, I didn't argue. I didn't plead. I simply opened the door, stepped out onto the curb, and turned back towards the institute gates without a word. Through the car's rear window, I saw Evelyn stare after me, her mouth slightly open, a flicker of surprise or confusion in her eyes. But then Leo groaned again, and her attention snapped back to him. She floored the accelerator, tires squealing as she sped away. My colleagues had all left work early for my farewell. The KTV room was filled with laughter, off-key singing, and the clinking of glasses. Chloe asked about my future plans. I told them the truth, head back to my small hometown, open a little convenience store, spend more time with my parents. Simple, quiet. The party lasted until well after midnight. Chloe, the designated driver, insisted on not only dropping me off at my temporary apartment building, but also helping me up the stairs, waiting until I was safely at my door before leaving. Before I could even fumble with the keys, the door swung open. Evelyn stood there, her eyes narrowed, glancing pointedly at Chloe's retreating figure down the hallway. Was she the one you took to Northern Europe? Her voice was laced with venom. When did you develop a taste for that type? She surveyed me coldly, like a prosecutor examining a suspect. Ignoring her, I walked past her towards the bathroom. Aren't you going to explain? She demanded, grabbing my arm, her grip surprisingly strong. Colleague relationship, I stated flatly. Nothing to explain. I don't believe you. Show me your chat history. Now. She held out her hand imperiously. In the past, I would have meekly complied. Now, a small, humorless smile touched my lips. And your relationship with Leo? Can I see your chat history, Evelyn? She froze, momentarily speechless. I shook my head slowly, stepped into the bathroom, and closed the door. The cold shower spray felt like Evelyn's silences, shocking, chilling, but ultimately clarifying. When I came out, toweling my hair, she was sitting on the edge of the bed. She'd changed into a sheer, black negligee, paired with black silk stockings, an ensemble I hadn't seen in years. Since Leo's return, her nightwear had become progressively more modest, more practical. For a while, she'd even insisted on sleeping in separate rooms. Her or me, Arthur? She asked, striking a deliberately seductive pose, running a hand through her hair. Who's more desirable? I continued drying my hair, saying nothing. Answer me. Impatient, she launched herself at me, wrapping her arms around my neck, her warm breath tickling my ear. Tonight, she whispered huskily. Her words were cut short by the shrill ringing of her phone. Caller ID, Leo Ho. Instantly, she disentangled herself, snatching up the phone. Leo? What is it now? His voice, sounding weak and pathetic, came through clearly. Evelyn, my stomach hurts again. Can you come over? Just for a little while? If Arthur doesn't approve, then never mind. The manipulation was blatant. Evelyn glanced at me, hesitated for a fraction of a second, then her resolve hardened. It's fine. I'm on my way. She hung up, quickly threw on some clothes over her lingerie, muttered a dismissive, I'll make it up to you later, and rushed out the door. Again, I watched her go without a word. Then, calmly, methodically, I finished packing my remaining belongings. I contacted a real estate agent to list the apartment we once shared. Finally, I booked a taxi to the airport. One last call. Her voice, when she answered, was rushed, impatient. What is it now, Arthur? Can't you see I'm busy? Leo's stomach is acting up again. I have to take care of him. Whatever it is, can it wait? She clearly assumed it was another checkup call, another demand for her attention. I'm leaving, Evelyn, I said quietly. Leaving? Where are you going now? Off on another sulking trip? She asked, momentarily distracted. In the background, I could hear Leo whining for water. No, I replied. I'm going home. To my parents. For good. This time. Look, I have to check on Leo. I'll call you back later. I wanted to say goodbye properly, to find some final words. But once again, Leo took precedence. She hung up. We won't be seeing each other again. I finished the sentence to the dial tone. I lowered the phone, looking up at the sliver of moon hanging in the dark city sky. A surprising pang of sadness, of regret, tightened my chest. Once, I thought that moon shone only for me. For us. Now I knew its light fell equally on others. 6 years. We started so well. It shouldn't have ended like this. But maybe, given who she'd become, it was the only way it could end. Block. Delete. Goodbye. Leo Ho remained in the hospital for a full week, milking his supposed illness. On the 7th day, Evelyn finally put her foot down. Leo, I've sorted out your discharge papers. But I still don't feel well, he whined, clutching his stomach pitifully. The doctors confirmed there's nothing physically wrong with you. You could have left days ago. Evelyn sighed, a hint of weariness in her voice. I have work piling up, Leo. I can't keep neglecting everything for this. Okay, fine, he conceded reluctantly. Outside the hospital, Evelyn steered him towards the adjacent luxury shopping mall. They entered a high-end watch boutique. Leo's face lit up immediately. Evelyn, look. That one. It's gorgeous. I love it. Evelyn nodded and paid without batting an eye. As the clerk handed over the elegantly wrapped box, Leo reached for it eagerly, but Evelyn intercepted it. Evelyn, it's for me, right? Can I have it now? He was beaming. All traces of his hospital malaise vanished, practically vibrating with excitement. It's not for you, Leo, Evelyn stated calmly. It's for Arthur. What? Leo froze, his smile collapsing, replaced by disbelief and burgeoning resentment. The idea of Evelyn buying me a gift was clearly unthinkable to him. Leo, didn't I buy you a watch just last month? Evelyn reasoned patiently. Don't be upset, she continued, trying to soothe his bruised ego. Arthur hasn't bothered me at all lately, and I haven't been home. I owe him some kind of gesture, don't you think? Besides, she added softly, I haven't given him a proper gift in years. Leo, though visibly sulking, managed to swallow his displeasure to maintain his charming facade. He grudgingly agreed, then suggested. They buy some clothes as well. Evelyn readily complied, purchasing expensive items for both me and Leo, attempting to restore balance. Laden with shopping bags, Evelyn arrived back at our old apartment. She tried the door code. Denied. Again. Denied. Frustrated, she started, pounding on the door, shouting, Arthur Lynn, what is this? Did you change the code? After I went to the trouble of buying you gifts. Honestly, the door opened, but it wasn't me. A middle-aged man looked out, confused. Can I help you? Evelyn stared, bewildered. Who are you? Why are you in my apartment? Where's Arthur? He sold the place, the man replied simply. Through an agent. I'm the new owner. What? Evelyn's eyes widened. Only when the man produced the official property deed did the reality sink in. She frantically tried calling me. No. Answer. She sent messages. Red exclamation marks bounced back, blocked. She checked every platform, every connection. Deleted. Blocked. Severed. How? How could this happen? She whispered, stumbling back. Just a few weeks. How did it come to this? Her composure finally crumbled. Looking utterly lost, she called Chloe Ching. Hello? Evelyn, is something wrong? Did Arthur leave something behind at the institute? Chloe asked, understandably confused by the call. Evelyn unleashed a torrent of abuse. Where did you hide him, you little fox? Tell me. You knew he was engaged, yet you still seduced him. Have you no shame? Her voice rose hysterically. He blocked me. Deleted everything. Are you happy now? Satisfied? Chloe, after absorbing the initial onslaught, took a deep breath. Her reply was calm, collected. Evelyn, Arthur resigned weeks ago. He went back to his hometown. She paused. And I didn't seduce anyone. The night I took him home was the team's farewell dinner for him. Silence hung on the line. Then, Evelyn's voice, thin and reedy. He resigned? Went home. Why didn't I know? He drank a lot that night, Evelyn. Chloe continued softly but firmly. He told us the wedding was off. He said he finally realized you didn't love him. He needed to end the relationship. The constant pain, the emotional turmoil. Chloe's voice hardened slightly. Do you have any idea how much he cried that night? He went through 2 entire boxes of tissues. What? Evelyn stood frozen, phone pressed to her ear, tears beginning to well in her eyes. Evelyn, Chloe pressed on, her voice laced with righteous anger now. I honestly don't understand. Arthur is such a good man. Why did you nearly drive him insane? Just because Leo Ho is your childhood friend, you coddled him, protected him, and completely ignored the man who truly loved you. Having delivered her piece, venting the frustration she clearly felt on my behalf, Chloe hung up. No wonder. Evelyn murmured to the empty hallway. No wonder Arthur was so different lately. No fights, no arguments. He wasn't giving in. He was letting go. She slid down the wall, curling into a ball on the floor outside the apartment that was no longer hers, quiet sobs shaking her shoulders. Chloe called me later, recounting the conversation. I told her to block Evelyn's number, ignore any further attempts at contact, and call the police if she felt harassed. She'll get over it, I said, perhaps a bit callously. Give her a week, she'll be back, clinging to Leo. Chloe continued to fume on my behalf, calling Evelyn a user, lamenting my wasted love. It's over, I told her gently. It's in the past. I invited her to visit my hometown sometime, then ended the call, turning my attention back to directing the workers installing the sign for my new convenience store. My parents were overjoyed to have me home. Hearing the full story, they were completely supportive of my decision and my new venture. I had expected a period of grief, of withdrawal after leaving Evelyn. Surprisingly, the opposite happened. Perhaps I had finally reached my limit of disappointment. Perhaps crying it all out that night at the KTV had been cathartic. Whatever the reason, these past few weeks felt incredibly light. I smiled more. I threw myself into setting up the store. I ate home-cooked meals prepared by my mother. Went fishing with my dad. Life felt simple, peaceful, good. About 10 days after returning, the store renovations were complete, shelves stocked, ready for opening. Early that morning, unloading inventory, I saw her, Evelyn, standing uncertainly on the street corner, looking lost and exhausted. The usual polished perfection was gone. She looked around Mon, blankly. Then her eyes found me, and a flicker of desperate light entered them. I pulled my cap lower, intending to ignore her. I couldn't believe she'd tracked me down here. Shouldn't she be off enjoying her public relationship with Leo by now? Arthur Lynn. She spotted me, her voice sharp, cutting through the morning quiet. She rushed over, grabbing my arm. Why did you just leave without a word? Sell the house, leaving me all alone. Her voice rose accusatorily. Have you no conscience? You scumbag. The familiar pattern. Blame me first. You have Leo, I replied calmly, pulling my arm free. How are you alone? No place to live? Stay with him. You seem to enjoy spending time there. I raised an eyebrow. Or did you two have a fight? Is that why you're here? Her expression faltered, a flash of guilty confirmation. She clenched her fists. I told you Leo and I are just friends. Like family. His parents asked me to look out for him. That's all. The excuse sounded pathetic, even to her own ears. She quickly changed tack. We were supposed to get married. You can't just cancel something like that. It's a major life event. She grabbed my arm again, her eyes wide with manufactured panic. You didn't seem to care about it much before, I observed coolly, shrugging off her hand. Why the sudden urgency now? She stammered, unable to form a coherent response, clearly remembering her past dismissals, her casual cruelty. The hypocrisy was too blatant even for her to spin. If there's nothing else, I said dismissively, turning back to my boxes, I have work to do. She didn't leave. She hovered nearby, chattering nervously. Arthur, we can talk about things. Communicate. Can we just find somewhere quiet, please? No, Evelyn. I shook my head, carrying boxes into the store, pointedly locking the door behind me. We broke up. There's nothing left to talk about. She rattled the locked glass door, pleading. Before Leo returned, I had tried to talk. Repeatedly. I wasn't comfortable with the concept of male best friends hovering around my fiancé. We discussed boundaries. She'd agreed. Then Leo reappeared, and all promises were forgotten. I tried reasoning, pleading, demanding. She called me insecure, possessive, or simply ignored me. The car accident was the final, brutal severing. We were supposed to go on a picnic, just the two of us. Leo insisted on tagging along. Then he insisted on driving my car. When I refused, Evelyn accused me of being petty. Threatened to break up with me right there. Exhausted, I relented. On a winding mountain road, he boasted about his driving skills, tried some idiotic maneuver, lost control, and slammed us into a pole, flipping the car. I was in the back, hadn't buckled up yet. Thrown around like a rag doll, head bleeding, leg trapped and fractured. The pain was excruciating. Evelyn, unharmed in the front seat thanks to the airbag. She immediately rushed to check on Leo, who, also protected by the airbag, had only scraped his arm. When the ambulance arrived, the paramedics assessed my injuries as far more severe, ready to load me onto the stretcher. Evelyn blocked them. Take Leo first. His arm hurts. It might be broken. She fussed over him, eyes filled with anxious concern, not even glancing my way. Evelyn, please, I begged from the ground, unable to move. I can't feel my leg. Let me go first, please. The paramedic confirmed my injuries were the priority. But Evelyn yelled, can't you be more considerate? Leo's about to faint. You're older, can't you yield? You might lose a leg, but if Leo's arm is permanently damaged, his whole life is ruined. She physically pushed me off the stretcher they were trying to place me on, helped Leo onto it, and urged the driver to hurry. Watching the ambulance speed away, the pain in my heart overshadowed the agony in my leg. Even the paramedic attending to me shook his head sadly, advising me to run, not walk, away from a woman like that. From that moment, I knew it was over. Irrevocably. Though I locked her out, Evelyn didn't give up easily. When the supermarket opened for business, she showed up again, buzzing around me like an annoying fly. Arthur, let me help you at the cash register. No, thank you. Arthur, this shelf is empty. Let me restock it for you. Not necessary. My repeated rejections didn't deter her. Finally, my patience snapped. Evelyn, I said, my voice tight with irritation. Please stop interfering. You're not helping. You're just getting in the way and stressing me out. I'm giving you 10 seconds to leave this store. Otherwise, I'm calling the police. My tone was cold, final. Arthur, are you really kicking me out? She whispered, her body trembling, eyes filling with tears. Yes. I turned away, busying myself with inventory. Arthur. She called my name again, her voice choked. Seeing I wouldn't relent, she finally turned and walked away, shoulders slumped. Half an hour later, Chloe called. Arthur, did you and Evelyn get back together? She asked breathlessly. No? What? I was baffled. She just posted on social media, Chloe stammered, announcing your wedding date. What? I was stunned. Chloe quickly sent me a screenshot. A 9-photo grid of old pictures of me and Evelyn. The caption read, on the 15th of this month, I will be marrying Mr. Arthur Lin. All are welcome to attend. Beneath it, Leo Ho had commented pathetically, Evelyn, are you abandoning me? Her curt reply, get lost. Just like that, Leo, once the triumphant rival, was publicly humiliated, instantly becoming the target of online ridicule. My phone started buzzing with congratulatory messages from friends and acquaintances, putting me in an incredibly awkward position. This was so typically Evelyn. After refusing to even set a date for years, suddenly this grand public declaration? Hilarious, if it weren't so disruptive. There was only one way to handle it. I posted my own clarification. To be clear, I have broken up with Evelyn Meng. We have no relationship. Currently single and open to meeting new people. My feed exploded. Eating popcorn emojis filled the comments. People messaged privately, asking for details. My standard reply, we grew apart. Our journey together ended. No need to air the dirty laundry further. The past was past. Focus on the future. That evening, after closing the store, Evelyn was waiting outside. She held a bouquet of flowers. It was raining steadily, but she just stood there, getting drenched. As I locked up, she hurried towards me. Arthur, she said eagerly, thrusting the bouquet at me. Your favorite. Blue enchantress roses. Leo likes blue enchantress. I corrected her gently. My favorite is white roses. You mix them up. Ah. She blinked, flustered, then slapped her forehead lightly. Oh, I'm so sorry, Arthur. I got confused. She quickly recovered. Starting tomorrow, I'll bring you white roses. Every day. Her voice grew desperate. I told Leo to get lost. He's gone. He can't come between us anymore. Tears welled in her eyes. I really, really love you, Arthur. Life is dark without you. Can we please get back together? I'm begging you. Her eyes searched mine, pleading for a yes. 6 years together, I said softly. And you still don't even know my favorite flower? What kind of love is that, Evelyn? Stop deceiving yourself. You didn't lose a lover. You lost a servant. I shook my head, a humorless chuckle escaping me. No, she screamed, grabbing my arm, the rain plastering her hair to her face. Tears streamed down her cheeks, mingling with the raindrops. I'm sorry, Arthur. It was all my fault. I took your love for granted, ignored your feelings. Her voice broke. But I do love you. I really do. Please, believe me one more time. Just once. I'll cherish you from now on. I swear. The rain intensified, pelting down like small stones. We were both soaked. I don't love you anymore, Evelyn. I said, the words feeling final, absolute. My heart, once blazing with passion for her, had been extinguished by too many storms like this one. Now, there wasn't even a flicker of warmth left, not even pity. If she dropped dead at my feet right now, I doubted I'd feel a thing. I didn't agree to break up. You can't abandon me, she shrieked again, her voice nearly drowned out by the downpour. Leave my Arthur alone. A familiar voice cut through the rain. I turned. Chloe stood there, backpack slung over one shoulder, pulling a small suitcase, utterly drenched, hair plastered to her face. A drowned rat would be a flattering description. Chloe, what are you doing here? I asked, surprised. Seeing Chloe, Evelyn's desperation morphed instantly into fury. She lunged towards her. Stay away from him. Get lost. I quickly stepped between them, shielding Chloe. Evelyn, stop it. pushed beyond her limit. Evelyn completely lost control, screaming like a madwoman. Why are you protecting her? Why? You two are having an affair, aren't you? Humph. Chloe scoffed, shaking wet hair out of her eyes. Unlike some people, I'm not fickle. She looked directly at Evelyn, her voice ringing with conviction despite her bedraggled appearance. I've liked Arthur for a long time, but I never said anything because he was engaged to you. Her gaze hardened. While you were sneaking around with another man. Do you have any idea how much you hurt him? And now that you realize what you lost, you come crawling back? Have you no shame? She voiced everything I felt but couldn't articulate. I was, however, genuinely surprised by her confession. I'd never suspected. We worked closely, yes, but always professionally. Never even bought each other coffee. Evelyn stammered, visibly flustered. I know I was wrong. I can change. It's too late, Chloe stated simply. The words hit Evelyn like a physical blow. She stood frozen, speechless, utterly defeated. From now on, Chloe declared, straightening her shoulders despite the dripping rain. I am officially pursuing Arthur. Evelyn Meng, if you think you're worthy, then compete fairly. Evelyn just stared at the ground, devoid of her usual arrogance. She knew she had no ground left to stand on. All right, I said, gently taking Chloe's arm. Let's get out of this rain before we both catch pneumonia. I steered her towards my car, started the engine, and drove away, leaving Evelyn standing alone in the downpour. As we pulled away, I saw her sink to her knees on the wet pavement, head bowed, shoulders shaking. A single, detached thought crossed my mind. She might catch her death out there. For my own peace of mind, not hers, I made a quick, anonymous call to the local police, reporting a distraught woman potentially needing assistance in the storm. Back at my parents' house, chaos ensued. My dad rushed to cook something hot, while my mom bustled around, preparing a guest room, making up the bed. They kept shooting me meaningful glances, their intentions obvious. Don't let this one get away. Honestly, I was deeply moved. A young woman traveling hundreds of miles, showing up drenched on my doorstep. That level of sincerity, of courage, was rare and precious. But I was still healing from one failed relationship. Rushing into another felt wrong, unfair to both Chloe and myself. Predictably, Chloe woke up the next day with a bad cold. My parents insisted she rest, but she was constitutionally incapable of sitting still. She tidied the house, helped my mom cook, proving surprisingly adept at homestyle dishes that quickly won over our taste buds. She even turned out to be skilled in acupuncture, significantly easing a bout of my father's chronic back pain. Soon, neighbors were stopping by, curious, and ended up praising Chloe's skills and gentle nature. Inevitably, the local busybodies started matchmaking. You two living together like this. People are talking. If you don't get married soon, it'll be scandalous, one old auntie declared. That's right, Arthur. You're ruining the girl's reputation. Take responsibility, another chimed in. Such a lovely couple. Perfect match. Get married, have twins. Their teasing left both me and Chloe blushing furiously. We escaped to the balcony for air, watching the sunset paint the sky in fiery colors. The silence stretched, charged with unspoken questions. Finally, I broke it. Chloe, I began, turning to face her, my expression serious. Are you absolutely sure about wanting to be with me? I looked directly into her eyes. Yes. Her response was immediate, unequivocal. Then, astonishingly, she threw her arms around my neck, burying her face in my chest. I like you, Arthur. A lot. Caught off guard, a slow smile spread across my face. I returned the embrace, holding her close. Chloe, I whispered into her hair. I think I'd like to spend my life with you. Me too, she muffled against my shirt, her voice thick with emotion. You've been through a lot, I murmured, gently stroking her back. Thank you. It wasn't hard, she mumbled, holding me tighter. It's what the future Mrs. Lin should do. And so we began. We took things slowly at first, but our connection deepened naturally, easily. We met each other's families formally. We set a wedding date. We took beautiful engagement photos, filled with genuine smiles and hopeful anticipation. When I posted the photos online, the response was overwhelmingly positive. The most common comment, repeated in various forms. Congratulations, Arthur. Escaped hell and found happiness. On the day of the wedding, the procession of cars decorated with ribbons and flowers made its way towards Chloe's family home. Suddenly, a figure darted into the road, blocking our path. Evelyn, dressed in a stark white wedding gown. Arthur, she screamed my name, oblivious to the honking horns and staring onlookers. Frowning, I got out of the car. Evelyn, I said, my voice cold. They say disrupting a wedding brings bad karma. What you're doing today, it's wrong. Honestly, I hadn't expected this level of desperate, theatrical extremism. I don't care, she cried, shaking her head, tears streaming down her face. Arthur, I've come to marry you. She held up a bouquet of pure white roses, the ones I loved. The roses are beautiful, Evelyn, I said quietly but firmly. But you're tainted. Without waiting for a response, I turned, got back into the car, and instructed the driver, go around her. Let's proceed. The white roses slipped from her grasp, scattering petals on the wet pavement. Evelyn stared after the departing cars, then slowly crumpled to the ground, strength seemingly abandoning her. She began slapping her own face, again and again, her voice choked with hysterical sobs. It's my fault. All my fault. I threw away the only person who ever truly loved me, she wailed. I deserve this. I deserve to be alone. Arthur, I was wrong. I was so wrong. Her cries faded behind us as the car moved forward. None of it mattered anymore. My focus was ahead, on my beautiful bride, waiting for me, on our future, bright and full of promise. End.